Good evening, and welcome to the 802 iRacing League's Week 3 podcast. I'm your host, Rob Lowell. Joining me tonight is my co-host, Brandon Garrand. Brandon, how's your week going?
Not bad, Rob. How are you doing?
Not bad. Oh no, you got a little creak in your voice. You got a cold?
Little creek, little creek. No, I'm good. I'm
Oh,
good.
okay.
Little cough right there.
I know up here in Vermont and
Although the
upstate.
weather is not favorable up here.
I was just gonna say up here in Vermont and upstate New York, we're definitely in cold season.
Cold, rain. The cold, I'm fine with the 40s. I get the weather, but the rain, I do not like the rain.
Don't look at next week's forecast.
I know it's all been rain.
Yeah. Oh, so we just finished week 3 in the Cup Series, week 2 in the Busch Series. Both series are at Rockingham Speedway. Um, what were your thoughts on Rockingham, Brandon?
um, very fun racetrack. A lot of tire management, multi groove. So it's a lot of fun, but also very treacherous racetrack.
Absolutely, it was the first time
I
our
mean,
Cup
obviously,
Series,
everything for the Busch Series is obviously going to be the first trip.
right?
So
But first time even for the
I'm,
Cup Series there.
yeah, yep, exactly. And my race did not go as planned in the Cup Series, and we'll get into that when we review that race more. But
I
I
honestly,
thought I was in most of the race, and it was good racing, and it wasn't. I thought it was a good race.
I thought it was a good race, but I'm a little bit biased on that probably.
I mean,
Uh,
like I said, I eventually got to the point where I counted how many spots I was gonna lose, and I just knew that eventually I was never gonna get the one lap back or two laps back because it was going green so much. So, or whenever I would get a caution, I would just have lost the lucky dog or just went two laps down. So it was a struggle, but the racing was fun. It was a lot of fun to even race with my car damaged, and I just love that racetrack.
yeah, I had never raced there before. I had the track, but I don't ever remember racing it. I think it's just one I bought along the way somewhere, and I might have taken a couple laps somewhere around years ago, but definitely never had a next gen out there.
Yeah, no, I bought it last year when the trucks and the Xfinity cars went there because I knew they had some officials and I like that track.
Uh, I'll be open and honest. Johnny Barker and I started practicing there 3 weeks ago, so we didn't see a whole lot of sense in practicing at Daytona. Um, so Johnny and I a couple times over the last 3 weeks have turned some laps there, and um, first first time on the track, didn't really know what to make of it, and then just had to figure out what the car needed, what the track needed, and I had a lot of fun there in both series.
Yep.
We do have a guest tonight. Tanner Marr is coming on. He was the winner at Rockingham in the Busch Series Friday night. He'll be on at 6:50, so in about 15 minutes, he'll be dropping in to chat with us. Um, so before we do that, Brandon, why don't we go over the Busch Series results? And I know if you're excellent show prep, you had the results probably sitting there in front of you.
Oh, you know I got the results all ready to go. So as Rob said, Tanner Marr was the race winner. His teammate Cody Gibson finished second. Then Steve Ritter was third. Myself was fourth. Then Rob fifth. So we each had top fives there. That was fun. We battled a lot during that race. We'll talk about that once I get through these results there. And then after that, everybody else lapped down, surprisingly. I didn't really realize that until I looked at these results before we were getting ready for the show prep. So we got Joe Hudson sixth, Johnny Barker seventh, Logan Kogar eighth, Ron Holyfield ninth, Michael Pardusky 10th, George Ledesma Jr. 11th, Dominic Wright 12th, Dustin Coggin 13th, Rick Kennedy Jr. 14th, Tanner White 15th, Bryson Anderson 16th, Larry Bell 17th, John Buell 18th, and Frank Zingen 19th. So yeah, and then Cody Gibson got the pole for this race, and he also led the most laps with 96 laps led.
Yeah, and Cody at one point, I don't know, he was out there like I think I was running third, and he was out like 11 seconds on us. At one point, Cody really had a good car. Was getting around there really well.
There was
Um,
there was one point I thought we had him. We both passed him, and he dropped back to third.
yep.
And then I don't know how he saved even more tires. And all of a sudden, I want to say it must have been probably 20, 25 laps. He comes back and he passes us both again. I said, whoa, he's got really, really long run speed. I just got long run speed, I guess, because he passed us like it was nothing. I thought he had went and got tires or something, but nope, he was still in third place. And
What made that
he
worse
just,
is he. I want to say the first caution came out around lap 30, um, and he went in and he got tires. Um,
yeah, he got tires earlier
and
than me and you did. I know
you
that.
and I, you and I went in and topped off on fuel. Um,
Yep.
no, sorry, he stayed out. You and I went in and topped off on fuel, and then the caution came out around lap 50 or 60. He went and got tires there, and you and I did not. Um, we went in and topped off again because we were talking. We're um, prior to that. Um, Actually, you and I were not talking. It was me and Steve were talking, but you were on the same strategy as us.
Yeah, trying to keep tires.
We kept tire. I think we pitted around lap 80 or 90, 70, somewhere between 70 and 90, where the caution came out, and that's when we took our first set.
Yep.
And then we ran him down on that run, um, and we both passed him. And then 20 laps later, on tires that probably had 25 more laps than we did, here he comes blowing back by us. So,
Yep.
um,
Yeah, very shocking. So he was really fast.
and Cody, I'm gonna say he was the Denny Hamlin of the Busch race. He had the best car. He was dominant, um, but strategy bit him, and he didn't win because of it.
Yeah, middle of the green flag cycles at the end of the race. And a couple of people had fresher. Did Steve have fresher tires still,
Um, no, I
or was
don't
it
think.
just Tanner?
I think
I
just
can't remember.
Tanner.
I know.
Just
Me and
Tanner
you
had a
had the
set.
oldest.
Yeah,
Me and you
and
had the
Steve.
oldest.
You and me pitted, took our final set because we thought, at least I did. I thought I was gonna stay green, so I
Yeah,
pitted
so we took
like
him early.
45 to go. Um, Steve being my teammate, Johnny Barker came down when I did, took tires, same lap. Um, Actually, when I peeled off, you saw me peeling off, and you came too.
Well, you peeled off on the backstretch.
Yeah, I hadn't. So I didn't. I never thought we'd have that long a green flag run. I'd never practiced a green flag pit stop. And after
I'll
Dover
tell you what, it
last
was
year in the
sketchy.
Cup Series, having the car to beat, and wrecking myself peeling off the going pit road, I was not going to try to peel off turn 4. So I just got down and going into 3 and rolled the apron. But I
Yeah, I
want to say,
originally wanted to go about 10 laps further, but I was in the same mindset as you. I was like, well, he's been the closest to me all race. If it stays green, if I go 10 laps, he's leapfrogging me by a bunch, and I don't know if I can make up 10 laps on the back end.
yeah,
So I pitted.
and my plan was to short pit you and leapfrog you. And when I chose to get down, it burnt me a little bit. I mean, one lap would have made a difference. I'm sure he would have come the next lap anyways. But
Yeah.
so we pitted like 45 to go, and then Cody and Steve came at the same time. I want to say they came right around
I think they made it the 10
like
laps further,
yeah,
and then
170
it
maybe.
was about 5 laps after that the caution had come out.
Yeah, 510. I want to say it was like 180. I think the last caution came out like 20 to go, and
Yep.
I think at that point Tanner was the only guy that had a set of tires. He had
Him
pitted.
and Joe, but
Oh,
Joe had
Joe
damage.
had damage. Yep, you're right.
Yep, Joe had a
And
lot of damage, but
Tanner just we none of us pitted. He had to come from the back, but he drove to the field pretty quick. And
I tell you what though, he did have a little bit of trouble getting by Cody at first. I mean, eventually he got by him, but
yeah, and
I think that's also maybe just teammates racing, but
we'll talk to him when he comes on. And I don't know if that was having trouble getting by him, if he was just being super cautious and taking his time
yeah,
when he had better tires.
don't want to burn him up too much just in case, because we saw how good Cody was on that long run. Even if you have fresher tires, he could probably still have caught him at the end if he wanted to. I mean, I'm looking at the interval, and actually, it's less than a tenth. It's 0.085.
Yeah, I think.
So Cody's still right there. I mean,
Yeah, I think if
but
that probably another 20 laps, Cody would have won it.
yeah,
Cody had that such good long run speed, but it wasn't. It's not a 200 lap race. It was a 175 lap race. So um,
yeah, 175 it was,
yeah,
and that was a long 175. I will say that much.
it seemed to be, but then
Uh,
Sunday night when we get to the Cup race, that was 200 laps, and that seemed to go by pretty quick. At least for
let's
me,
see
it
here.
did.
Let's while we're waiting for the 650 mark, we go over the points real quick. It's only a
Yeah.
couple races, but so currently leading the Busch points is Joe Hudson.
Let me see if I can get
Joe
that
ha-
up. Go
Joe
ahead,
has
but
77 points, and then second is Dominic Wright. He's got 75. He's two behind. And then Tanner Marr jumps up with that win. He jumped up 16 spots. He's now third in points. I mean, obviously, it's only two races. It's easy to jump races because not everybody has raced both races so far. So, Rob, you're in fourth, and then Cody's in fifth. Got Logan Kogar in sixth. Dustin Coggins tied with him for sixth. Frank's in eighth. Larry Bell's ninth, and Steve Ritter is running out the top 10 in points.
there you
So,
go. I got the points up.
yeah, it's obviously going to jump a lot, and then eventually we'll have the three drop races, so the points will shuffle quite a bit.
Yeah, Joe's been solid both weeks, and he's up there.
I think he's got a fifth and a sixth, so
I think
he's
a
got.
couple things that strikes me is just the bad luck that you've had. You had Daytona. Um,
It's yeah, Daytona's always that's I'm used to that. Uh, we'll get into the cup race eventually, but I had bad luck there. I ran fourth in the Xfinity race, which is kind of where I thought I would run in the cup race. But just plate racing, that'll get anybody behind. If you can get out of Daytona, sometimes it's lucky, but we'll see how that shakes out for the rest of the year.
and we're at the look of this here. I see some. Of course, these points mean absolutely nothing right now because the drop races will end up getting figured in and stuff.
Yep.
There's drop races in both the Busch and Cup Series, so points this point in the season are so volatile. Everyone's dropping, you know, their worst finish right now. So
Yeah, and then in the Cup Series, eventually there will be no drop races once the playoffs start. And then I think we might even do the race before the playoffs, kind of like so you know going into that last race is what exactly you got to do. And then kind of the same thing will happen in the Busch Series. The last race will not be eligible to be a drop race, just so everybody knows going into that last race what the points situation is.
yep, yeah, I think we talked
Because
about well,
yeah, last year we didn't do that, and basically Jeff Pogo in the Cup Series, all he just had to show up. He didn't even really have to show up because Phoenix as a drop race still would have been better than anything. So we're just trying to kind of make it so going into the final races of these things, there's a clear picture.
yep. So we're two races into this new Busch Series. What's your reflections on the car, the class, the two tracks we've been to? We go to Auto Club this
Um,
week.
yeah, I'm really excited for Auto Club. We did a recruitment race there a couple weeks ago with a different league, and I had a lot of fun there. I think it'll be a good track. Um, looking back, we only raced there one time ever in the Cup Series too, which is kind of surprising that we've only raced there that one time. But wide track, tire wear, I think it'll be good. I don't really, I don't like plate racing to begin with, but like for some reason, the Xfinity car was totally different. Like I'd never raced an Xfinity car plate racing. I don't get on officials to do that. I don't look out for super speedway racing I kind of just find it as a crapshoot, and when we have them in league races, I just join and we'll see what happens. But so I thought the car race was really good at Rockingham. That was a lot of fun. I think it's gonna race just as good this week. And then I'm just gonna look at like what we got for here the next couple weeks. New Hampshire will be interesting. I think that'll still be fun though. Phoenix, and then we get into Charlotte. So previewing the next 3 weeks, I think we got at least 3 really good races. I'm interested to see how New Hampshire will be, but I know this week's gonna be good. It's a wide track. We should be all be able to spread out and hopefully get some good long green flag runs. I think Phoenix surprisingly will be a really good short track. I know it doesn't always put on the best shows in the Cup Series, but I think it'll be really good for the Xfinity car. And then I think Charlotte is just like bread and butter for like both cars. Like mile and a half, they're just awesome racing. So I think we got some good races coming up, and that'll going into I think that'll be going into December. That'll end November. We'll get a real good judgment of how this car is really racing with everybody out there. But so far through 2 weeks, I think it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, and I guess my one reflection is, I guess going if I had this the schedule to over again, I wouldn't have put Rockingham as number two. Um, I think Rockingham, we may have had some guys that decided discretion was a better part of valor and skipped it. I'm hoping we see some guys come back this week that missed Rockingham. Um, Buns.
Yeah, that's the one thing about not having road courses this year is that people don't pencil that in as their skip race. They look for something else they can
Right.
probably skip.
And I kind of feel like it's I feel bad that guys did that because I think if they had practiced the full half hour, they would have liked it. I mean, I didn't hear anyone say, "Hey, this sucks." And we had some long green flag runs, which I didn't expect we'd have with the Xfinity car or the Busch car because it can be free on entry. You know, it can be tough to get into the corner. But Rockingham raced really well. I was just shocked by it. And we had some guys that were missing too, so that had other commitments that night.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it happens. So I think we'll get a big number this week. It's a bigger track again, and
Yeah,
I
guys
think we'll
like
have a
it.
good race.
Guys like it. We just read a message in chat. Um, we practiced it last night a little bit. Um, I have one slight concern about it is even if you chew up your tires, um, the draft just saves you down the straightaways. So I got a feeling it's going to be pack racing. Um, I think it's going to be really hard for guys to get away and make moves unless they have 3 or 4 guys lined up to go with them. So I
I
think
will say from experience though, I've noticed that if you can be that car that does break away, it's hard to draft back up to him. In a way, even if you
that
have
has
like two
always
or
been
three guys with you,
that's always
it's
been
hard to get.
it's always been the case in the Cup Series and stuff. But I'll tell you, Nick and Johnny and I practiced the other night, and we did a full fuel run, and we would a couple of us would get away from the other one in the corner, and he'd be back there 6, 7 tenths, and by the time we got down to the end of the straightaway, he was back to us. Um, I think you're gonna have to totally obliterate your right front. Um, I've run it there quite a bit with the Cup car in officials, and it doesn't drive the way it used to. And we saw the same thing at Michigan in the recruitment race, similar tracks. Michigan, you just no one got away. You just couldn't. So um, I know they've updated the car to more reflect the product you see on the track um, on Sundays. So we'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. It'll be something totally different than what we've already done this year. We had drafting. I mean, I guess a little bit of drafting, but we've had a plate track. We'll have this short track, and now a kind of in between with a bigger track, but a little bit of drafting on. I think it'll be good.
Hold on. Cody's messaging me. Give me 1 second. Kenny gonna make it this week? Is he, Brandon? Do you know?
I would think he's gonna make it. He has he was trying to talk a little through the Discord. It seemed like I don't remember who it was. Was it with Steve or with Frank?
It was with Steve.
And then he goes, "Oh wait, never mind. It's Rockingham." So
But then he said he fell
I,
asleep.
yeah, and then he blamed it on the time change too or something. And all I know is he should be there this week. We'll get into the preview, but there's only been one winner in the history of the 802 at Auto Club, and that is Mr. Kenny Real.
Yeah. So
So I see Tanner's here, so we
Yeah.
can get to the guest.
I'll move him in. I'll let you do the intro.
Yep. All right. So joining us now, winner of the Busch Series race at Rockingham, Mr. Tanner Marr. Tanner, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Brandon. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. How do you feel the overall race went for you at Rockingham? I know if I was you, I'd almost kind of feel like I stole one from Cody because as we've been boasting him up this whole race, just like looking at like most of his stats and then like going back through how like even on older tires, eventually he chased me and Rob back down and passed us and just. But
So,
it wasn't easy because then I looked at the results and he was still right there on
yep.
your bumper at the end of that race. So
So
you
I wish I could
yeah
come on. I wish I could come on here and say, you know what, I beat him with pure talent and speed, but
yeah
I can't. I can't say that, right? I'd be lying to myself and everybody else. Cody's a teammate. I've followed Cody to many wins. He's followed me to many wins. I knew once Cody got second behind me, I knew I was safe. I knew he wasn't, and it would take a big mistake, me getting to the wall or something like that, for him to even try to pass me. He even told me, he said, "Dude, no pressure. We're rolling 1-2 here." And I mean, that's just basically what we did. I luckily got out in front of him. I think I did a little bit different tire strategy. Now I'm not saying we don't race each other, right? But when the laps come down like that, we're not going to do anything to jeopardize the finish of the other guy, right? And that's why me and Cody click so well together. Like I said, I followed him to numerous wins, and he's followed me to numerous wins. So I got lucky. It was Cody because man, oh man, he was fast at Rockingham.
yeah he was blistering fast. I mean, whew, he
He
got the pole, led the most laps. So
Yep.
he was in a class of his own, and
It, and even on old tires, right? There was a point in that race. I can't remember the laps without having the sheet in front of me, but I think we took tires like 40 laps in or something like that. And Rob, Brandon, I
yeah
noticed y'all didn't, and I was like,
we took him the next
right.
we
time.
took him like
Me
25 laps later.
me and Cody was under the assumption then, well, boys, we're screwed. Pack it up. We're gonna finish third, fourth, maybe even worse, right? Because tires meant that much. But I fell back to ninth, 10th. I think Cody fell back to fifth, and before you knew it, he was fighting for the lead again. Right. But,
No, he wasn't fighting. He went right by us.
Yeah.
right. It's like,
I watched the broadcast, and Brandon and I, we kind of, well, we should get the Idiot of the Week award, I guess, because what we did is we were more worried about pushing each other, and defending against each other, and we just burn our crap up. And then, Cody was smart. He kind of saved his stuff, and said, "Hey, they got better tires right now. I'm not gonna fight them." And we kept fighting each other, got into a purse fight, and he comes in from the back and drives back by us.
I would have never thought he would have caught us though.
we
Knowing that,
didn't either.
like that's in my mind now, being like, all right, like next time I
So,
race there, I got to be easy. Like,
so Cody's strength is, I mean, his absolute strength is he may not have, he's not going to just rip off the fastest lap, but 20 laps into a run, you start checking his lap times. They're going to be pretty quick. I don't know how he does it, we'll go pit, and we're taking tires, and there's usually 5 or 6 of us in the channel. We're all saying, well, my right front's 66, right rear's 70. Cody be like, I'm 85, 86, to the point where I make fun of him, like, dude, you're lying. Shut up. Like, you're lying to me here. And he's like, no, I'm serious. And so I don't know how he does it. I say he cheats personally, but that's just me.
No, I totally understand that. We do that in our Discord, our team chat, and there's times I'm in that position where my tires are better. There's times where Johnny is, and most of the time it's Steve that's got better tires than the rest of us. So,
right. I'm just usually when I say my number time, like I guess I'm just not pushing hard enough. Like there's no reason I should have a higher number than most people. But
right.
So yeah, and then the back end of the race, we were talking before you came on, Tanner. It kind of flipped. Like Brandon, I wanted to leapfrog Brandon because at that point I thought I was racing for a second or third. So I said I'm going to go here. I'm going to go before Brandon, and I showed my hand too much getting down the backstretch. And I want to say Cody and Steve waited like 10 laps to go. And you were was your plan to run until you needed fuel, or what?
Yeah. So I was screwed. So what y'all don't know is I got a meatball flag right whenever the caution came out. I hit the wall. I don't remember who it was that wrecked on the backstretch, but that saved the race for me and saved everything because I just got a meatball flag and I was having to come in the very next lap because I blew the right front. I got my right front was down to 0% on the inside, 4% in the middle, and I don't know what the outer was. So yeah, my intention was to run it out of fuel and just pray for a caution, but the tires actually expired before the fuel. I still had like I think 6, 7 laps of fuel remaining at that point.
Sometimes it's just
luck. Right? Everything aligned right there.
Yep. I mean that saved the race for me because if we don't get a caution there, I think I finished 20th, right? I mean,
well, and luckily you didn't get too much damage either hitting the wall because Joe also had a set of fresh tires, but he had so much damage. I mean, he ended up getting lapped in that last run. So like, a lot of luck there, and like it brought you to victory lane. So I mean, that's all that matters, you know.
I want to ask y'all something still here, and if y'all don't want to say it on the podcast, I don't have to. I understand it. The first 30 laps of the race, y'all allowed me and Cody to get out, and so another peek behind the curtain, we didn't know there was only 2 sets of tires laying in the pits. We had no idea, so we were pushing hard the first 20 laps of that race. Was y'all saving that entire time because y'all knew y'all were going to stretch that set of tires out?
I was.
I think that's just kind of like how I would race it anyways. Just
okay.
Like even if I had 3 or 4 sets, it's just I anticipate the race going green no matter what. Like,
right.
It's always like my first thought. Like we've had so many clean races in like the history of our league. I'm just like always thinking this is just gonna be a long run, and I need to save these tires and just go to the fuel. I gotta get it to stretch my fuel run.
So we're going to have to learn that. We're going to learn that because we had no idea. We were expecting we come from all these leagues with 30 people in it, right? And there could be a caution 15 laps in, and so we just pushed. And Cody was asking me, Tanner, are they catching you? Are they saving? I was like, dude, I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what's happening here, Cody. You're gapping me by 3 seconds, but then I'm on an island. I don't know what's happening here right now. And then I looked at the fuel. I was like, well, we're good on fuel. I clicked over on tires. I was like, oh, bingo. That's we're idiots, Cody. We made a big mistake here. And so we tried to back the pace down then too. But I was really worried about tires. Once we realized there was only 2 laying in the pits, I was like, oh, no, they just checkmated us completely. We're the morons here.
So it's funny you guys are having that conversation on your Discord because we were having a similar conversation in the Wolfpack one between Steve, myself, Johnny. You guys had taken off like that, and I'm going, do they not realize there's only 2 sets of tires?
Well, there's your answer. We did not. We had no idea.
And then Steve qualified towards the front, and he kind of pulled the parachute. I definitely pulled the parachute. And I just wanted to ride. And as the run went on, Brandon and I started picking off cars. We started passing cars.
Right.
And then I want to say it was probably a lap like 30, 35 where you guys had that realization. Because I said to Steve and John, I said, hey, I think either 1, they burned their tires up, or 2, they just realized this is going to go green a while, and they're trying to save because the gap not only steadied, but it started to come down a couple seconds.
Yep. So once you said lap 30, 35, that's when we realized, oh crap, we got to go about 60 laps on tires, and we're only halfway in that run. It was about between lap 30 and 35 that I know me personally, I backed the pace down because I was like, oh, we got problems here. We've killed our tires. They have been on a Sunday drive. They are going to run us down and completely destroy us if this thing goes green.
Yeah, I did the whole math of splitting it into thirds, seeing how many it was, and it was just I think it was just under 60 laps,
Yep.
58 or something, 58
I
per
wish,
run,
I
and
wish,
that's kind of what like I start gauging it at too.
I wish one of us would have been streaming in that moment because man, oh man, we had egg on our face. Because I just figured we had tires, right? Cody figured we had tires, and I was just clicking through. I think I looked at fuel, and then I clicked over one more and saw tires. I was like, oh crap, we got big boy problems.
Yeah, and the other thing I start at first I was thinking too, I was like, well, can I stretch this to make it just in one stop? And I
Right.
didn't know if but that was too much trying to stretch. I think it's 15 laps trying to save.
Yeah.
Well, 7.5 on both runs. I'm just like, that's not easy to do at a short track. So
Right.
that's not the strategy. We'll split it in thirds and try to take tires every 60 laps.
My teammates may not like me sharing this, but our plan was not to take tires like 80 or 90 our first set.
Right.
We were going to go as long as we could. Essentially, 2 fuel runs. A little less than 2 fuel runs, but go as long as we could. Take our first set 80, 90, and then we figured by then we'd have better tires than most guys for that middle run. But then we got such a long green flag run there to like lap 30 that first caution, and then we had another caution, 65 or something. And even coming down pit road, we're having the discussion back and forth. Steve, I, and Johnny are, hey, we're just taking fuel only here again, right? We're taking fuel only here again, right? And one of us said, if we get another green flag run and it goes 60 laps, and these guys are taking tires, we're gonna get lapped.
Right. So kind of forced your hand almost.
So that forced us to put tires on.
Johnny wanted them tires.
You think so?
Or Steve. Steve does have the long logic, but Johnny loves to get in tires.
Yes, Johnny does love his tires. Johnny and I have been teammates now for, I want to say since 21 maybe, and
right.
Johnny is like a Rottweiler. When we first started racing together, he'd go out there and he'd burn us out tires up in 15, 20 laps.
That's me.
And we had to put it took a while, but we got him to get a leash on, and Johnny's really good at saving tires now. He made a huge jump when he got his direct drive wheel. He got his Moza.
Right.
But Johnny right now he's really good at saving tires and keeping his pace up. I can save tires, but I give up some pace to do it.
That's me. That's so I don't know how people can save over a long run, but then like you check their lap times, they'll start off 3 or 4 tenths quicker, right? Just naturally, but then you check their lap times out and they plateau and they kind of just stay right there in the middle with decent pace, right? And I can't do that. But you mentioned equipment there, Rob. I'm interested. You just bought yourself a track racer rig, right? How do you like that?
I like it. I actually got into a little bit of a well, I gotta just say a pissing contest on Facebook group with Track Racer.
Ooh.
I didn't realize that the Track Racer owners group was actually moderated by Track Racer. And I didn't make it. I didn't say anything bad. I said I love the rig. The other thing that was frustrating is it's a Track Racer TR160 version 5, and the instructions that they send you this card with a QR code on it, and it says scan this for your instructions.
Is it a YouTube
and you
video?
Scan it, and it takes you to YouTube. Takes you to the instructions manual on their page. But it's a version 2 of the TR160, and they're on version 5.
So I've said all along. I got.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So like the main frame rails, the version 2 had 4 channels. So when you put your pedal mounts in, the TR1 pedal mounts that let you put all the angle and stuff in your pedals, you could put them on the bottom channel towards the bottom of your frame rail and get the right angle. Well, the new frame rail only has 2, and they're like with the second, like you'd have the bottom, we'll call that number 1, and then the one that's 2, then 3 and 4. Well, it's only got the 2 and 3 channels now. The 1 and 4 channels are gone. So like my my pedals are in, but I would like more angle in them, and I can't. And I lost probably an hour and a half putting it together, trying to figure that out. And the monitors are the monitor mounts the same way. So I just said, hey, you're spending $2,500 for a cockpit. The
Right.
instructions shouldn't be 3 versions behind. And they kind of called me out on it. And then they said, well, anyone that's looking to buy a TR160, just know that that's the next manual we're going to update. And then a bunch of people jumped on them and and it's like, well, what do you mean you're going to update? You shouldn't be shipping a product that you don't have instructions for.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I've said all along, Rob. So 3 years ago, I upgraded all Fanatec stuff. I went direct drive, DD1, and everything. And it seems like sim racing world here. They got good products, right? But there's not a sim racing company that has one, good instructions, or two, good customer support where you can call somebody and ask a question. So I feel your pain with the track racer deal because I had some issues with my DD1, and it took me almost 3-4 months to finally get it to where, hey, I got the wheel, got the base, and here I can finally race with it. And never once got on the phone with anybody. Was able to get on the phone with anybody. So I feel your pain in that one, brother.
Yeah, I mean, and putting this together, it was 11 hours on Friday and I don't know 12 or 13 on Saturday. Um,
How did they ship out something that expensive and not have the manual up to date? That in my head, it's like, hello.
and then no one you can reach out to, and I found some YouTube videos that I was able to work through it. Um, but now I got a new Sim Magic wheelbase and wheel, the Evo, and
Ooh,
there was the instructions were awesome to that, and there was a note inside the box from the place I bought it. If I had any question, you could call them.
that's awesome.
And
That's awesome. I've heard
the
great things
day
about them.
it's Sim Shop down in Texas, and the day I ordered it, I ordered the extension from the wheelbase to the wheel, which I ended up not needing. But I'd ordered the wrong one, and the guy called me from his cell phone. He was texting back and forth with me. I mean, the customer service in Sim Shop was unbelievable.
Right.
I just wish Track Racer was like that.
So
I feel
my
like that's
my
how it
big
is with most sim rig seats.
it
Like
is. It is.
it doesn't matter what company, every sim rig seat customer service and all that sucks.
I
But
think just the sim equipment in general. Like I said, my DD1, I went 3 months without even having an actual wheel rim to put onto the DD1. I didn't have the NASCAR rim. The first one got lost in the mail. They said it was shipped out, and never came here. They did replace that for me, luckily. That one came, and it was for I don't know, one of their lower wheels, whatever. So it didn't have the same pins, would not line up. But luckily they did. So I say all that they did make good. They ended up sending me 2 extra rims of like F1 rims and stuff like that. I don't ever use them, but it was just cool that they did try to make it right. But I spent like $3,000 and couldn't use it for 3 months. It was just basically a desk ornament for a long time.
I like my Moses stuff. They're usually pretty good.
So I hear Sim Magic and Moser are kind of like the go-tos now when people's upgrading. I
Yep.
would, I if this wheel ever goes bad, I'll go Moser for sure.
It,
Yeah, I have no complaints about my Moses setup. I got the R9 and like the CR2 fucking P whatever the fuck the acronym is. There's too many
Right, yeah.
letters. CRP. Like I'm talking this. It's like Star Wars.
Right.
C3PO over here. R2D2.
You need a freaking NASA degree to
Yeah.
fucking mount all the shit.
Luckily, like it was easy to put all this stuff together, but to try to say the names of them, nope.
Right. So Rob, you came from belt drive now you're at direct drive.
yeah, so I had a Fanatec Club Sport version 2.5 belt drive.
That's the rim they sent me originally. So
And
yeah,
then
okay.
I had Fanatec V3 pedals, and probably a month ago my clutch stopped working. Well, actually, it
I
stopped
made
working
Rob buy new
a
pedals.
long time ago. And I finally reached out to Fanatec. I'm like, hey, my clutch stopped working. Can I get a replacement? Or can I buy the parts for it? They sent me back an email wanting a video of the clutch not
Yep.
working. So I'm
Yep.
like, okay. So I sent a video of like in Fanatec control panel. I can't videotape me pushing the clutch and the screen to show them. So I just videotaped the screen. I said, okay, I'm pushing the clutch. There's no blue line going up the clutch graft.
Probably
It's
wasn't good
not
enough for him.
working. it wasn't good enough for them. They said, "Oh, we need video of side by side of you pushing the clutch." And I said, "You know what? It's not worth it." I gave up. Mysteriously, a week and a half later, the clutch started working again. So I bought the new rig. I bought went to triple monitors a month and a half before I bought the rig. And we raced Friday night at Rockingham, and then after Brandon and I were chatting, voice chatting in Discord, and he says to me, "Well, everything on your rig's new except for your pedals, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Why don't you just buy the pedals and get it over with? You know you're gonna." So I went to bed, and I got up Saturday morning, and I came down. And I jumped on to practice for Rockingham for the Cup car, and I said, "Screw it!" And I went in and ordered the P2000 hydraulic pedals from Sim Magic. They'll be here tomorrow. But, so thanks to Brandon.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
I'm jealous.
You
about
will be
that.
welcome.
I'm jealous about that. I still got the V3s. I love my V3s, right? But I wanna. That's my next upgrade path for sure.
My V3s, the brake has been right in a while. I push it
My-
like a quarter
My brake
way.
sucks too.
I push it quarter way, and the load cell's reading that I got it fully depressed.
Yep.
So like,
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what you do in Fanatec control panel or whatnot.
Yep.
It goes to fully engaged.
It's random.
Yeah.
Mine's random.
Yep. So
I can set my min max numbers or whatever in the control panel, and that will be good for half a race. But then I noticed that one night at Martinsville, I'm barely pushing the brake and I'm getting 75% pressure. So it's just random.
I didn't race Martinsville because of that. I didn't run any officials at Martinsville because of my brake pedal.
Right.
And then Sunday night at Rockingham, I barely touched the brake into the corner. I was lifting at the flag stand.
Right.
And just letting the car float in, because if I did, I didn't know if I was going to lock the front brakes up or not. You know,
Yep.
front wheels up. So
I don't know. There was a couple laps. I think you sent it in there.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you got pretty big in my mirror a couple laps.
That wasn't sending it in. I was just, because I'm not on the brake, I'm actually just rolling the center that much speed. I found not using the brake lets you roll the center way better than if you were on the brake, which is actually the way it is at a lot of tracks. But I don't know. We'll get the brakes tomorrow and see. And I'm kind of looking forward to when we go to Watkins Glen to try the brakes out there.
Are we racing Watkins Glen on Friday?
No, Watkins Glen. Oh, I guess I'm letting the cat out of the bag.
That has not been announced yet. Well, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. But
the Cup
All right,
cars,
so I guess
speaking of this,
the Cup cars will be going to Watkins Glen at some point.
Copy that.
Speaking of this weekend, before we let you go, Tanner, what's your thoughts on Auto Club this weekend?
Oh, so racing Auto Club. Okay. I love the track. I love the Xfinity car. It's my favorite car. Finally found a good league. I'll even tell y'all that. Y'all run a really good league. We're very clean, right? We came into it expecting caution. We ran that recruitment race with y'all, went flag to flag, I think, at Michigan, or almost flag to flag if it wasn't. So I'm expecting big things out of Auto Club, and I'm excited for it. I am excited.
Two sets of tires, just so you guys know.
Yep.
Thanks for the. If I could, in the driver's meeting, you can make fun of me and Cody and remind us if you want. I'd be cool with that.
And it's a good thing you didn't go to Homestead for that recruitment race.
Yeah, the next one was not pretty, but
we kicked the one out by lap 25 and ended it.
Yeah, I think we just closed the server.
Hey, I've rep my own league for almost 6 years now, so I get it. I've been there, done that before, so I get it. I understand that entirely.
All right, Tanner, you got anything else you want to shout out before we let you go here? I mean, it's been awesome to have you on. I'm sure we'll talk to you a few more times. The feeling that while you say you're a short run guy, I feel like you're gonna sneak out some more wins here, maybe even dominate a couple races. So yeah. Any shout outs you got before we let you go here tonight?
I just want to say shout out to y'all. Shout out to the broadcast crew. I can't even remember who does. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. But Five Kings Motorsports. Oh yeah, Matt Johnson, Extreme Sim TV. Yeah, that's one of my boys actually. That's kind of crazy. I forgot that. So shout out to Five Kings Motorsports, my race team, and Race CPI and all that for sponsoring the team. And shout out you two boys for doing the podcast every week. We do appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, thank you, fellas.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Tanner.
Yep, see you, boys.
Well, now that we finished up the old Busch Series,
Yeah,
I guess it's time to dive into the Cup race.
yeah. So race 3 of 26 for the Cup Series. Um, it only took week 3, and the defending champ knocked off his first win, Jeff Pogo, in the '97. Um, it was another race where strategy kind of came out at the end. I would say tires. It came down again. Who had a set of tires left in the pits, and when the last caution finally came out. Um, and I think it's another race where a Cody, a different Cody, but a Cody nonetheless, led. I think he led the majority of the laps. Um,
Yep, Cody led the most laps.
yep. So we'll go to the top 5 real quick. Um, actually, why don't you run the finishing order, Brandon, and then we'll jump into it.
All right. So, as we said, defending champ Jeff Pogo gets the win. Robbie finished second. Cody Meadows third. Brendan Finley fourth. Jim Ott fifth. Chris Progar sixth. Kip Easley seventh. Joe Hudson eighth. Frank Zingen ninth. And Jason Wiley sneaks out the top 10. Then we got Nick Larson 11th. Arabia Keaton finishes 12th. Steve Ritter 13th. Eli Raposa 14th. Johnny Barker 15th. Myself in 16th. Michael Pardusky 17th. Andres Barras 18th. Matt Johnson 19th. Daniel Holcroft 20th. Tanner White 22nd. And our other co-host who is not here tonight, Greg Dreiss, finishes 22nd.
Yeah, it was a rough night for Greg. He got caught up in someone else's mess. Like,
Yeah, I think he got caught up in the first one, the first caution, which was lap 2.
yep.
There was a big checkup on the backstretch, and a bunch of people piled in on the backstretch a little bit. And then on the ensuing restart, my teammate Jim Ott spun the tires and got into me, and I don't know how many other people got involved, but I got some pretty big. I don't know what, and Johnny got in one of those. I don't know which one Johnny got in either, the first one or the second one, but
Johnny was wrecked
he,
on lap 2.
yeah, so he was in that first one because I saw him on pit road for a while and kind of did the opposite strategy that I did, where I don't know how much time Johnny had for damage,
Johnny
but
had, I want to say, 7 or 8 minutes.
yeah, I had 12 minutes. I had 12 minutes and I just sent it. And a couple times got on the lead lap, but still had so much damage. I was just burning the left front off it. Like the first time I pitted, I had 7% left on the left front. And after that time, I didn't change tires the rest of the race, just hoping to get like late cautions, and I would have fresh tires because I knew on old tires with as much damage as I had, I wouldn't have been able to pass anybody if I did get a lead lap. But that never happened. So
Yeah, we had
we
a lot of green flag runs in that race.
yeah, it stayed green. So I mean, it says 9 cautions, but like a few of those they're back to back cautions, so they're still long green flag runs.
I could think of 6 of the 9 that were back to back.
Yeah, so like they were
Yeah,
boom, 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 and that's a couple of the times I benefited from those, and other people did too. But in the end, we only had 9 cars finish on the lead lap, and it was still a really, really good race up front. I mean, I lost connection for a while on the server, and I popped in, and I got 2 to go, and just then is when Jeff's passing you, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a really close race.
yeah. So
Like,
I think we had lap 175. Eli gets loose off turn 2. Eli Raposa, my teammate, goes down, hits the inside wall, and breaks a toe link on the left front. He doesn't know that till he gets up to 3 and 4, and it goes up the track and hits the outside wall. He can't steer it, and he starts to come down, and I miss him by maybe 6 inches. Um, and at that point in the race, everyone except Jeff and myself had taken their final set of tires. Well, no, Steve had a set, but he was multiple laps down. I think at that point, or 1 lap down. No, he ended 10 laps down. So yeah, he was multiple laps down. So Steve had a set too, but and Johnny might have had a set, but they were both multiple laps down. And there was actually, at that point, there was only 6 of us on the lead lap when the yellow came out, and three or four guys stayed out because they didn't raise the pit. They had no tires, and they got the wave around, came around. So when Jeff and I came out of the pits, we came out 5th and 6th.
Yeah, the last lead lap cars.
Yeah, the last lead lap cars. We were able to move up to 5th and 6th, and they threw the green, and I got to the outside of, I think it was Kip or Brandon maybe, Finley, and I got a good run down the backstretch. I got into second or third, and Jeff got turned from behind and made a heck of a save. He was down the apron, completely sideways. Saved they got going again, but I was able to track down Cody and had a battle with Cody, and I'm watching Jeff, and he's like 3-4 seconds back, and he's coming, and I guess I should go back like 30 laps. Jeff and I were running, I think, second and third at the time, or third and fourth at the time. I got loose off of 2, and I didn't spin to the inside wall. I went to the outside wall, and I stove the right front end, and it said I had wheel damage. And we ran quite a few laps after that, but I knew I had damage. I was slower. But when we pitted there, I expected to see my right front down in the 30s or 40s because of the damage. It was like 68 or something. I was like, holy crap. So knowing we only had like 20 laps to go once it went green, I said, I'm just going to go for it here because I know I have a tire advantage on everyone except Pogo. And man, I wish it was 5 laps shorter or even 2 laps shorter because the last 4 or 5 laps I could feel I'd burn up the right front because of the damage and stuff. And I thought I started to race him, and I was holding him off. I was keeping him pinched on the bottom, and I said, "Wait a minute! When I came out of the pits, I still had 3 minutes and 45 seconds worth of damage left. I mean, I had a lot of damage, and I said, this is just stupid to fight him on this because if I screw up, I'm gonna take us both out, and the points are more important than a win. So I keyed up, said, "Hey Jeff, I got damage. I'm gonna give you the bottom here," and he cleared me, and I was just tickled to finish second with that much damage.
Yeah.
So I think the guy that would have had a huge say in this, if it wasn't for lap 2, was my teammate Johnny Barker, because he sat in the pits, got it completely fixed, and every time that we pitted, and he pitted when I did, he stuck to our strategy that we talked about going into there. His tires are consistently better than mine. And Johnny, a couple times he was saying, "Oh man, I can run Pogo down at will. I really wish I wasn't down laps." And he would run up on the lead lap guys, and then he'd back off. And I give him a lot of respect because he didn't go up there and try to get laps back or ego race just to say, "Hey, I passed those guys." He just rode around on back and took what he could, and he made up, I think, 7 spots, or 7 spots by doing
Johnny
that.
was the last guy that I knew that would pass me at the time. I was running with Jason for the lap down, trying to get the lucky dog, and eventually blew a tire because the left front damage that I had, and at that point, like trying to pit, I know I'm losing 3 or 4, so I just said at worst I'm going to finish 16th. 5 points isn't worth it that much to me to go back out there and still have a really damaged car and not be able to do anything. So it was a real bummer after how good I ran Friday.
Yeah,
to not be able to actually run the whole race, because with damage and fresh tires, I was only 2/10 slower than most of like I was asking Pogo and Jim what their lap times are, and I'm like, I'm only 2.5, 3/10 slower than you guys, and I got 11.5 minutes worth of damage. Like this sucks.
I'm watching Race Labs, my Race Labs overlay, and I can see the leaders' times, my times, my teammates' times and stuff, and Johnny was consistently the fastest car on the track at times. So,
yeah, and that's
I felt like
knowing how many laps down he is. I'd end up just as many laps down as I am almost at the end of the race because I had 4 minutes more worth of damage, and it just.
Yep. I felt like you and I were we were right there equal again in that
Mhm.
race Sunday night, like we were on.
Yeah, I qualified good. I qualified
Yep.
fourth. I hadn't really gone. I did a couple practice laps for once. Actually, did practice, and just kind of like I just wanted to practice a few laps because the difference in the two cars, I just know I needed to break like different tendencies. Like I can drive it off the right rear more in the Xfinity car. You can't do that in the Cup car, or else it's just gonna most of the time snap on you.
Yep,
So
especially at Rockingham and the bump off too.
yeah, yeah. So just did a couple laps and felt really good. And then qualified, and I was like, wow, this is way more. Like I was not expecting to qualify that good.
One thing
And
I want to do starting this week, because it is the 802 Winston Cup Series. We're gonna throw it back to the 80s and 90s, and this week I'm gonna pick the award winner here. But those of you guys that are in your 40s or older that remember the days of the Winston Cup Series. At the end of the night, MRN always had an award. For those who listen on MRN, it was called the Goodies Headache Medicine Award, and it was for who had the bad luck and the biggest headache of the day. Um, and this week, I'm gonna throw that to my buddy Johnny Barker. He got taken out on lap two, and he was a really fast car. A couple honorable mentions in that is our co-host Greg Drace, and then the guy that I really thought long and hard about giving it to was one of your former teammates, Frank Zingen. Um, Frank got caught up in two or three things that weren't of his own making.
yeah, Frank did not have a good night.
No,
But
Frank, but
battles.
he battled back, finished all 200 laps. Finished ninth, got top 10. He made that proverbial chicken salad out of the chicken shit. But yeah, Johnny Barker, you are the Goodies Headache Award winner of the week.
Yeah, and
So,
then
go ahead.
you know what that you just stirred up in my head a little bit, Rob, a little bit of creativity that I want to do. How about we do some no bull races where the top five finishers. Now we won't start it this week. We'll come up with some races because I think they did five throughout the year, and like it was always the top five. So to start it off, we'll just do the top five in points last year. Those will be the first five eligible for this first race whenever we come up with it, and there'll be a little incentive
Well, it was
if you're a Noble 5 winner or a
yeah.
Noble 5 driver and you win that race that you're a Noble 5 eligible for. Don't know what the award is yet. I'll figure something out. I'll sponsor it. We'll have the BG top five. We'll figure it out.
Sounds
But
good.
I like this idea, and
So it was usually the Crown Jewel
you
events,
just
right?
inspired. Yeah.
So we
What's that?
got it was usually the Crown Jewel events or the bigger events of the season that were part of the Noble.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna
So
look up what races it was exactly. I know
you
they didn't
know,
do it in the Daytona 500,
no, but
obviously. Like they
they
know
did do it at Charlotte.
Charlotte, so that might be the first one. Then I
Yeah,
think they had it like
Indy,
Talladega.
Indy, I think.
Yeah, so we'll come up with five good races to do that for, and I think that'll be a fun little thing. Another thing I wanted to think of doing as the BG sponsors, if somebody could like going back to like the Daytona thing, if anybody could double up all season, I'm gonna throw out a $10 either just a straight up cash payment or if they want iRacing credit. I'm throwing that out. That's gonna go through the whole year. We're gonna extend that. Cause I ain't gonna lie, part of that Busch race, I was feeling a little confident. I was like, man, if I could double up, that'd be cool. And then that's kind of when the idea thought. I was like, you know what? If anybody could double up all season, win both races in a weekend,
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be hard to do, and I think that's cool. And I think I'm gonna throw $10 credit toward whatever they want.
sounds good.
So yeah, so a couple new things that we're just sparking up here, but
And
we've gone.
I tried to poke the poke the bee's nest today there in our chat. Well, I didn't. I might have put our pit reporter up to it, Danielle Trotters, but
Danielle's out there.
yeah,
Everybody's been missing her.
yeah. Well, Polgo made a pretty bold statement in his Victory Lane interview. He said that he's going to he's sitting at 7 career wins now. He's four behind the all-time winningest driver in 802 Cup Series history. That's Kenny Rio. He's at 11. And our announcer Brett Hahn asked him, "Hey, can you catch Kenny by the end of the season?" Which, if Kenny doesn't win any races, Jeff's got to win 4 more. And Jeff didn't hesitate. He says, I'm gonna beat him for the end of the season and career wins. So kind of asked Kenny today, or Danielle did, about, hey, what's your thoughts on this? And Kenny's kind of ducking the question. So I know
I
I don't know if he's scared or nervous or.
I wanted to brag about being on there, but then I look at the win percentage and I'm like, whoa, mine's a little bit.
Yeah. But but you gotta look at the starts. So.
Well, yeah, I think me, you, and Johnny are top 3 in career starts. So.
We are, and I've missed 2. Johnny's missed none. He's been in every single race.
Iron
And,
Man.
yeah. And
Iron Man.
I feel like you have not.
I missed. Well, we both missed Gateway last year.
I missed Gateway.
I've missed a few more, I think, than you.
I missed Gateway, and I missed one when my computer died 2 hours before the race. The motherboard crapped out. I went to Best Buy and bought a motherboard, and I got it together about 20 minutes after the start of the race. So those are 2 races I've missed in the series. But Gateway was past spring, and you and I both had opening night at Airborne Speedway. So.
And overall career stats thrown in the dirt league, you still beat me by 3. 108 to 105. But that's just thrown in all 3. But as we should get to the probably the preview for Auto Club. But we kind of we kind of went over it in the Busch Series. I don't know if you want to preview it again. It's being a little bit different, but
we'll just jump to the Cups. We talked about it in the Busch.
Okay.
The Cup race is 100 laps, right?
Yeah, 100 laps, 200 miles.
Yep.
Which I think last time I looked at it, I want to look this up real quick. We ran 120 laps the last time we raced there, which is wild. That is wild. I said, holy! I looked that up and I said, that can't be right. Yeah, 120 laps we ran there last time. So this is gonna be 20 laps shorter. But yeah, so I'll just go over that top 10 real quick, and I'll spot some other drivers out here. But last time we were in there, Kenny Real was the guy who won the race, and then Frank's engine finished second. Old Nate Cotilla finished third. Remember Nate?
I do.
Using his joystick, that is so cool. I finished fourth. Johnny Barker finished fifth. Dalton Powell finished sixth. Jason Wiley finished seventh. Nick Larson eighth. Christian Delgado ninth, and Chad McNeil finished 10th. And we had 33 guys start this race.
I want to say that was season 4, I believe, right?
Yep, season 4. So
I'm trying to remember what happened in that race that we didn't put it back on the schedule for 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's we messed up last year. We forgot Kansas too. So I think it's just oversights because you get some good tracks and then you go through the schedule and you're like, whoa. We had Watkins Glen over this track, but I think this is gonna be a good race. I'm hoping this one doesn't have the amount of cautions I'm seeing in this race. This had 14 cautions, but even with that being said, this is only a 2-hour race, which may be a long time in a sim, but
14 cautions. But I think that was when the car was so loose there.
Yeah. I mean, 20. So this is going back 2 years.
Yeah. I think that was the build where, like, there in Michigan, were so loose. It was so hard on the right rear, you just spin out. I will say though that you're gonna see some spins off turn 4. They're not gonna be loss of talent. It's gonna be guys packing air into someone's left rear. We practiced there Monday night, and I was unintentionally did it to Johnny off turn 4, and then a couple laps later, I came up to Nick, and I wanted to see if that's what it was, and I did it to Nick. And then a couple laps later, I did it to Johnny again. I'm like, oh yeah, you can do it. So it's vicious, and what I'll say is if you're the leader with coming out of 4 on the last lap, you're probably not going to win that race, because you
Need
can
a
pack.
survival race.
If the second place can get to you and pack air in your left rear, and you get free at the lift, and they're gonna drive around you. So
Right.
if me, I'll be trying to be second coming out of 4. I don't want to be leading it. So, no, other than that, we got Friday night, 9 o'clock. Server opens. Qualifying at 9:30, and we'll run that race, and then Sunday night we'll run 100 laps. That server opens at 6:45 with qualifying at 7:10. Turn 3 Race Network for the Cup Series, Extreme Sim TV on Friday night for the Busch Series.
Both on YouTube. Just.
Yep.
Of course, we'll have I think we should start probably sharing maybe the links on Facebook if we can.
Yeah,
start doing
need
that.
to get back to doing that.
Yeah, we got race results. I share some stuff there. You can get full race results, a nice little race poster. Yeah, a lot of our stuff's on Facebook. We could make sure that's in our YouTube page info, but yeah, other than that, I think that's it. I'm excited for next week's show though. Hopefully, if we can get a little preview, hoping to get our dirt series preview, because
Yeah.
that'll be the last week before opening week for the dirt series. So hopefully get the man himself, Mr. Dean Reynolds, on the pod, and hopefully we can try to rope in the defending champ Sam Bachman to come on the podcast also.
That'd be awesome.
So
we will be
yeah, I think
condensing the asphalt coverage for in
yeah,
1.5 hour, and there'll be a half hour of the dirt coverage.
yeah, big last half hour with the dirt guys, and of course we'll go through the race results for the Cup and the Busch Series, and do a quick little preview, and then right into the dirt guys. So it'll be fun, and I know you got an early one tonight, Rob, or
Yeah.
tomorrow. I don't know how you would consider that, but
Yeah, my alarm's gonna go off in a little less than 5 hours at 12:30. So.
yeah. So
I gotta be in to work
I
at
think
2:30 for some overtime.
So before we go, we did last week. We did do the picks where we kind of think who's gonna win. So I figured we'd do that, and then we can send the sponsors and everything on the way.
I will let you pick first.
All right. So we will start in the Xfinity Series, and actually, I gotta get some of these drivers up here. Actually, I'm gonna stick with it again. I'm gonna go Mr. Steve Ritter. He's gonna pull it off in the Xfinity Series or the Busch Series this time. I know it. I went with him last week. I know he's gonna do it this week. And then I'm gonna go with the big dog and stuff. I want to see if he can back it up. I'm gonna go Kenny Rio in the Cup race. I want to see.
You took both my picks.
All right, so we'll double down on that then. This is a call out to both of them. Let's go.
No, I'm gonna pick. It's like DBC with their picks. You can't double up. So
I should let you pick first in the Cup Series since I went first in the Busch then.
No, it's good. Busch Series.
I know it's hard. I had to go through the roster a little bit.
I think
I had to go find race
I'm
results.
gonna go with a guy that's gonna be looking for redemption after last week.
You know, Cody.
I'm going with Cody Gibson.
It's not a bad pick.
And then on Sunday night,
I feel like I know somebody that would be good for you to pick, and I think talking about redemption, and you just kind of gave him a headache award.
Yeah, it's between him and one other guy, but
I'll say he got the pole last time they were there.
I'm gonna go with my teammate Johnny Barker.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Johnny Barker, but I'm gonna do my best to make myself lose that one.
Yeah, the Cup Series guy is always the guy who's gonna finish second in our minds. You know, he's not gonna be the guy that wins. He's finished second. But
Johnny and I practice together, and I think Johnny is. I'm gonna stick with Johnny.
All right, there it is. I got Steve and Kenny. You have Johnny and Cody, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, everyone have a good night, and we'll see you next week. We'll be back next week at our regulars.